Yay! Oh, got this task?
Can you hit like a check mark that looks oh, before someone died?
It's orange, it's orange, it's orange, it's orange!
Give a look as well.
Okay. No! I knew it!
Oh, he died! He slipped and fell. That's crazy.
I'll get my baby.
Oh, so fast.
I'm sorry, yo.
Oh my god! No!
Really? Black, what'd you say your name was? Oh, you might want to get out of here. No, it's not. Never be done. Alright, everyone, we're going to scan. We're going to scan. Follow each other, because Purple is just standing looking to get that pass. Green! What are you doing, green? Oh my gosh!
No! Dude, why?
Why are you killing the runabout? What? You just fell with a body and killed! What are you talking about? Oh my gosh, we saw blue.
Yeah,
How many of y'all saw blue?
You gotta believe
Oh,
me.
then blue's up out of here.
It's not me.
Alright.
Oh, we made an oopsie.
So is it orange?
Yeah, it is.
But we're waiting for
I
him
wanna
to
go
kill
make fun of.
Alright. Oh, he's got the Halo team. Oh, he's dead. He's dead. That's crazy. I can't believe that. Alright. Purple. Oh, crap.
You just. Oh my.
Hey, come here. Come here. I gotta tell you something. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. No, don't kill me. No. Oh, crap. Oh, crap, no. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh my gosh. Can you please stop? Let me kill you. Just die already. No, you're not killing me. Oh, crap. Hey, come here.
No, no, no.
Now that moving Flanders is talking. This is a very intense chase. Come here. Come here. No! No!
Fortnite has more Easter eggs and references than you would ever imagine. So here's a bet. I'm going to go through all of them in 1 hour, kick back and relax as we start with the Ninja Turtles. Thanks to the Battle Pass, we all got to unlock 4 free emotes. Each of them contains references to characters from the show, like Foot Soldiers, Mousers, and even parts of Metalhead. Epic honestly put a ton of effort into the collab, and that's why there's even more Easter eggs with the NPCs. If you went up to Splinter as each of the skins, he would have unique responses which are all directly from the shows.
Anger is self-destructive.
I always thought it was others destructive.
Raphael, we must fall many times before we learn to stand.
Then why did you make me leader?
Because you asked.
Not the only awesome crossover we got with Chapter 5, because Family Guy also came with a giant chicken. If you use this punching bag emote, not only will you hear Peter's laugh, but it'll change each time you use it. One of the best Easter eggs in Chapter 5 has got to be the community graves. Every time someone gets a viral clip, the devs take notice and put a memorial on the map. This time a player managed to crash their car between 2 trees getting stuck, and now it's immortalized here forever. So is an emote that references a show that's blowing up right now. When Reaper Showtime came out, players were shocked to recognize the music. It's actually a fan song about Has-Been Hotel, and even the scythe is based around the character. If you land at Grand Glacier, you can now find the most hilarious chest ever. The giant bush is shaped like a deer, but look behind it and who did this? This ain't no accident. When we asked Fortnite to explain themselves, they replied saying, it'd be a pain in the butt. And if you own John Wick's official skin, you're lucky to get 2 secret edit styles with the new season. These didn't just change his hair and clothes, they also cut off his fingers. Spoiler alert, he had to chop it off in the 3rd film, and they carried the detail over to his new styles in Fortnite. And that's not the only great reference in Chapter 5, because the Family Guy set is full of them. From the iconic Peter Copter to the wacky waivers, but my personal favorite is the Scratcher. We all know what it's for.
Here's your butt scratcher here, butt scratcher!
If you've been playing the LEGO mode, you'll know the insane amount of dialogue there is with hundreds of NPCs. In fact, there's 50,000 lines of dialogue. And if you have Aura, she might say she gets so mad she wants to flip an entire island upside down. If you know, you know. It doesn't stop there. Speak with Meowscles, and there's a small chance to tell you how he's nervous about anything shaped like a cube. I think we all know what he's referring to. With the new jam tracks, there's tons of new songs coming to the game every week, but one of them might be familiar than the rest. You can now catch Belle Biv DeVoe on rotation in the shop, and this is actually the music that Turk dances to in Scrubs. Recognize it? Yes, it is the iconic default dance, and now we can finally recreate it entirely in-game. But one thing has taken the community by storm after it was discovered hiding on the Chapter 5 map. In the north, you can find Cloister Castle secluded on a rock, but this place has way more than you can imagine. On the top floor, you can find Midas' office chair straight from his room in Chapter 2. It's looking out over the island, leaving many people wondering if he's returned. And if you're skeptical, that's not the only evidence pointing towards Midas coming back. Over at Grand Glacier, check out the elevator. Sure, it doesn't work, but it does have the same doors as the agency. We first saw these in the top secret trailer, and they were never used in game until today, so something's definitely going on here. If you ever found the Peter Griffin boss and wondered why he wasn't wearing his iconic clothes, it's actually a real outfit from the show. In the Lottery Fever episode, the Griffins win $150 million, and of course, Peter spends half of it on a solid gold tuxedo. And that's not the only crazy detail at the train stations, each of them has their own language. Because the map is inspired by parts of Europe, you can find French, German, Greek, and Italian areas split across the island. So, when you visit one station, the announcements can be in French, and the next in Greek, no matter what your language is set to. If you head over to the northeast corner of the map, you can find a bunch of wind turbines and a small oil platform. Obviously, a great callback to the rig from Chapter 2, but after some exploring inside, you can find TNTina's helmet resting on a chair. There's even a reference to the Imagined Order hidden away in LEGO Fortnite. When exploring your world, you can find randomly generated structures like villages, caves, or broken down houses, but one of them is insanely rare to find, the IO Bunker. It's the classic hatch from Chapter 1 and 2, and now people are starting to discover them in LEGO. There's also some secrets at Fortnite Festival. Load into the main stage, and before you cue your songs, take a second to explore the theater, cause there's an evil plot hiding behind you. Head up into the left stands, and you can find a burning cat plushie who are planning to kill someone. Yeah, definitely creepy. If you find yourself at a society POI with some time before the storm closes, take a look at the paintings around the place. There's Princess Fishstick's homeworld, a bunch of Fortnite fish in a barrel, and even a picture of ruined reels before it was ruined, giving us a glimpse at a POI we'll probably never get to see. Duty Steps is home to Peter Griffin, and there are plenty of hilarious secrets because of that. The first one is outside where you'll find this flag, and honestly it should be the official flag of Chapter 5. But the best Easter egg is in the town where the fountain is Peter Griffin as an angel. What is going on? When I first heard about the Grand Glacier, it sounded way too familiar. Creepy hotel, abandoned in the snowy mountains, reminds me of the Overlook from The Shining. Well, I guess the developers also thought that, because if you head into the hotel's maze, you'll find a statue buried in snow with an axe next to him. Yeah, it's a family-friendly version of The Shining's ending, where Jack freezes to death in the maze while holding his axe. For an Easter egg a little less freaky, head south of the map where you'll find an island that creates a love heart bridge. It's adorable, but also sets the scene for a perfect wedding venue, and that's exactly what the stone frogs are looking for. Just across, you can find a wedding ceremony happening between two frogs in love. All I'm saying is, we need more wholesome secrets. And one of the longest running gags has been the lack of Family Guy in Fortnite. And 2 years ago, this image was leaked showing an entire scene from the show with the blood cut out. It definitely wasn't a troll because there was too much effort, and yet, time passed with no news. After so long, we all gave up, and now that Chapter 5 dropped Peter, Epic made sure to troll us one last time with that same secret backlink playing the scene from all of those years ago. Things get real sinister when you think of Peely. As we learned in the Big Bang event, he is currently missing from the poster. A major part of Season 1's story was how Peely got kidnapped, and Jones is on a mission to save him. His captors weren't messing around. If you landed at various POIs, you could find secret rooms that had his banana peel in a chair. Looks like they held him hostage here before moving on, which is a little messed up for Fortnite. Sheesh. And it didn't stop there. If you tried to equip Peely during the season, his icon was secretly updated. Right there in the locker, his missing poster appears. The first time they've ever done this for the story. And if you're ever playing Lego with a friend, when they decide to leave the lobby, it even plays the classic Lego death sound. One of my favorite secrets, though, is hiding in plain sight. On the first page of the Season 1 Battle Pass, you can find this banner. Belongs to Hope, and seems like a regular old cat, right? Well, it's actually a reference to this iconic meme from last year. Not the only adorable creature hidden in Chapter 5. As you explore the island, you might come across the return of Coral Buddies. They've taken the game by storm over the last few years, and are here once again to entertain us. In fact, the Islanders love them so much, they even made a movie. At Ruin Reels, you'll find this poster for Revenge of the Coral Buddies. That is a film I'm gonna see. Not the only cool detail hidden around the map. There is one house full of Easter eggs. In the very north of the island, there's a house called Cloister Castle. Seems pretty creepy, but head inside and you'll find the home of a Chapter 4 enthusiast. The whole place is filled with memorabilia like Split's bowl, dogs, and even the Peace Syndicate's arcade machine. Keep exploring into the fields, and you'll probably find one of these windmills. They're right with Chapter 5, but there's a hidden joke if you find them all. The first one is called the Old Mill, pretty normal until you find the other windmill. Alright, I guess they couldn't think of another name, but just wait until you find the other windmill. One place you won't get much loot is everybody else's RV. Sure, it's a blank spot, but it's definitely worth checking out if you're a fan because it's actually the same RV from Chapter 4. He officially made it onto the new map. And this wouldn't be a secrets video if I didn't bring up the best Easter egg of all. When you eliminate Peter Griffin, he pulls off the funniest death animation in Fortnite history. But when we finally got the return of OG Fortnite, players were excited to uncover the game's longest-running mystery. In the shipping container yard, players broke a storage unit only to find a suitcase hidden inside. This thing was indestructible, and when they got a closer look, it showed a tiny factory making bushes. Since its discovery, this has been the longest unanswered question of Fortnite, and even after coming back, it has given us no answers. 4 years ago, you could originally find a fish on the wall, which looked like a big mouth Billy Bass from the early 2000s. If you emoted in front of it, the sign would start dancing, just like the real thing. Not the only POI to hold a secret. Risky Reels has a lengthy history from impossible challenges to becoming the block. But before all that, it had an incredible Easter egg on the sign. No one really paid attention to this thing, despite the fact Epic changed it every update. They would throw fake movie titles on here and parody real films like Cabin in the Woods or The Hills Are Haunted. Around the OG map, small huts appeared one by one, made out of wood, brick, and eventually metal. As you know, the story goes that the three little pigs built their houses in a similar fashion, but you would never consider a simple hut like this to be a reference. The best food truck, though, was Fortnite, a band that no one paid attention to back in the day. It was an on-the-nose joke about the name of the game, and people loved it so much, it even turned into a secret POI. Over near Fatal Fields, you can find this mine in the ground. Looking at it from a top-down view, it was a fork and a knife. And a cave that lasted even longer was there since the start, except this design was a victory umbrella. It's still not as forgotten as Lonely Lodge's resident. If you went to one of the lookout towers, you would start to find chicken feathers at the top. Pretty weird until you entered and found even more clues. Video. When we figured out who lives here, it was the last person you'd expect to be eating chicken. That's right, Tender Defender. This guy lived at Lonely Lodge, and he's some kind of a freak, I guess. It still won't explain the terrifying mystery of Wailing Wood's basement. Hiding in the deepest floors of this POI, you can find a single teddy bear alone in a room. Nothing to keep him company except his own reflection in the mirror. Probably the creepiest thing you could do with a teddy bear, yet here it was. Well, actually, forget that. This is the creepiest thing you could do. And that wasn't the first time we were haunted by an Easter egg. In the early days, some players walked up to a television only for it to show a dancing monster from Save the World. Okay, they need to bring this back. It's an iconic secret. At least we can't explain the mystery behind this huge troll. One of the first times Epic ever pranked us was with a truck hanging off the map. On the trailer, you'll be tempted by a chest, but the second you opened it, the loot would fall off the map, and most of the time, you would too. Pretty funny way to troll people, but they also did it in style, as this was a reference to the Italian Job. There's also a reference which barely anyone picked up on. Around the island, some houses had a milk carton in the kitchen. Obviously, you'd expect that, but this innocent-looking carton was hiding a secret in plain sight. This design is inspired by a music video. It's almost a one-to-one copy of the box from Blur's Coffee and TV. They eventually turned it into a back fling and put Agent Jones as missing on the side. Not the only classic to be referenced. 18 years earlier, the movie Castaway dropped, and the devs must have loved it because they put this onto a tiny island in Lazy Lagoon. The rock spelled out SOS with a soccer ball lurking nearby, a simple but amazing homage to the Help in the Sand, along with Wilson, Tom Hanks' friend that's actually a ball. Speaking of movie legends, Stan Lee passed away just before the return of Fortnite X Avengers, and they had to pay tribute to it. So naturally, they added secret dialogue when you won the endgame LTM, showing you his catchphrase, Excelsior. Now, would it be Fortnite's best Easter eggs unless I brought up gnomes? Of course, they were everywhere. You could probably make an entire video just on these guys, but I'm going to highlight one location that puzzled everyone. There's a random hut on the map guarded by gnomes, and if you broke in, you'd find them surrounding loot, probably the most unsettling chest I've ever opened. And there's an Easter egg that puzzles players to this day. Shifty Shafts is known as the beloved POI that mostly consisted of, well, mine shafts. Not all there was to it, except for one day when the secret streamer room appeared. Suddenly an area is filled with a green screen, a whole desk setup, and cameras. It was extremely random, with some people thinking this is referencing a streamer or a talk show host. Some references are more obvious than others, like the oldest Easter egg in Fortnite. Over time, you've been able to find countless outhouses with a moon symbol on the door. That's right, it's the bathroom from Shrek. Something that put a smile on our face was whenever we dropped at these structures. To date, they are some of the only POIs to be made entirely of builds, and you can find animals like a fox, a crab, even a llama. You can edit these too, so defending yourself was extremely fun. In 2019, we got the Pump It Up emo. You might not get this reference until it's compared to the iconic video of the Dancing Pumpkin Man from 2006. Ironically, he gave them permission to make this emote, but then threatened to sue Epic anyway when they added it. A couple years before that, we had the first ever Fortnitemares, which not only brought Skull Trooper to the game, but secretly gave us crossovers they weren't allowed to do. We got a Beetlejuice, who has gone entirely under the radar for years as an unofficial Beetlejuice skin. Not to mention Kyle the 13th, one of the only references to Jason Voorhees in the shop. Hopefully these come to Battle Royale in the future, but they're probably waiting to do an official collab. In Fortnitemares 2022, everyone was so distracted by the Inquisitor that no one cared to stop at the graveyards. Yeah, across the map you can find these tombstones all over the place, and they were full of secrets, like one being available to someone to contact Grisabelle, while others were definitely not a secret apocalypse bunker. Although there were some gravestones that told us who was buried there, like Meowscles, who was on his third life out of 9. Someone also forgot to thank the bus drivers, so did he murder them? I'm not risking it from now on. Now there's a detail that literally no one's talking about. In 2020, we got the Ghostbusters collab for Halloween, and everyone let out a sigh when they realized it was just default skins. Except, when you look closely, they have an insane detail included, which starts with the male versions. On their belt, you can see an old walkie-talkie from the 80s, and that makes sense. Ghostbusters is a pretty old film and they use dated tech. We'll take a look at the female outfits, and they're not using walkie-talkies at all. They have newer tech because the Ghostbusters remake is set during the modern day. That cast was made up of actors from SNL, and it's not the only time they've been referenced in Fortnite. In 2016, they made a sketch with Tom Hanks where he dressed in a pumpkin suit.
What's my name? David S. Pumpkins!
Eventually, Skull Trooper was compared to the skeletons from the SNL skit, and it looks like Fortnite went along with it, because a year later, they dropped Jack Gordon, an obvious reference to David S. Pumpkins. Anyway, let's take it back to 2019, where we were all enjoying Fortnitemares and fighting the Storm King. For Save the World players, though, they have been fighting it for years and got their own update instead. This included a brand new hotel to explore, and as they entered the building, they found... yeah, look familiar to anyone? Pay attention to the carpet, it is very close to the iconic design of the carpet from The Shining. gaming. The Overlook Hotel is known for this pattern, but more importantly, look further down the hallway and you'll see two gnomes staring right back at you. Of course, they're meant to be the creepy twins from the movie. Not every Easter egg is in game though. One of the greatest references is in an episode of South Park in 2018. All the kids had to choose Halloween costumes and showed up to class like this. You don't gotta pay close attention to realize every single one of them is wearing, you guessed it, a Fortnite skin. But it's what happened after the episode aired. South Park themselves posted a photo of all of the outfits and their concept art. Isn't this incredible? I never thought I'd see the day Kenny was dressed as Raven or Stan became Leviathan. And I also didn't realize that we've had a Michael Jackson emote in the game for years and never knew about it. Fortnite dropped the reanimated dance in 2018, and it's quickly become one of the most popular emotes out there. They always bring it back to the store. However, if you look beyond the flashy music, the dance itself is really familiar. That's because this is taken from Thriller by Michael Jackson. Putting them side by side, it's obvious where the inspiration lies. Now, it's not an exact copy, it makes sense, but there's always room for an icon series down the line. Actually, it was a cool addition though, and he arrived on the island with his very own cabin from the Evil Dead franchise. This thing was jam-packed full of Easter eggs, from Ash's chainsaw in the shed to the cellar he locked his sister in. I love finding the Necronomicon, but the greatest secret of all, the iconic talking moose. Another official collab was a year prior, when Fortnite dropped The Mummy and Frankenstein's Monster. On the surface, this was just a simple Halloween crossover, but they actually went all out for this. These two characters have been around for a long time, and if you equip their edit styles, you'll see a unique effect that can only be found on these skins. It's a vintage film effect. It's both a throwback and a secret that went totally under the radar. Honestly, I want more skins with vintage stuff like this. Now I gotta mention the most famous Halloween Easter egg in Fortnite history, and how they expanded it without anyone realizing. I feel like everyone remembers when balloons appeared above storm drains in 2019. It broke the internet with every player desperate to see Pennywise in the game. But of course, it never happened and we all kinda moved on. Well, that's until a year later when they updated the Easter eggs with a new edit style for Night Night. These clown skins used to be super colorful, and then the Night Fright style dropped, making them look suspiciously similar to Pennywise. Another outfit that was way too similar is Big Mouth. On the surface, this guy is super original, but he had an alternate version that was poisonous. When people learned it, they would be given the skin with the Marvel series tag added. It was only for this style and left a ton of people confused, but there is an explanation for this. It's a reference to Carnum, a Marvel character who is a fusion of Venom and Carnage, which explains the huge tongue. Whether it's supposed to be a collab and fell through, we'll never know. But we do know about the secret vehicle at Camp Cod. Turns out technology wasn't the only detail in the Ghostbusters event. Over at this POI, you can find a car covered in a sheet, and of course, it's easily identifiable. This is Ecto-1, the iconic Ghostbusters vehicle, and while it's never drivable, the barn has the word dirt written on the side, just like the shed from the movie. It's about as obvious as the time players found this hockey mask shrine and saved the world. One look at this and you can immediately tell who it belongs to. So yeah, if Kyle the 13th wasn't enough, Epic are taking their Jason Voorhees appreciation to the next level with an entire shrine dedicated to him. In 2018, they updated Fatal Fields with an entirely new design. It was converted into a Halloween theme park. It featured a pumpkin maze, haunted house roller coaster, and food trucks for hungry visitors. For Season 6, the entire battle pass is themed around cutes and Halloween, giving us Fable, an obvious knockoff of Red Riding Hood. And most of us know about this. She is clearly supposed to be from the fairy tale, except you have to look deeper to realize that Fortnite made it 10 times scarier. Fable isn't running from a big bad wolf, in this case Dyer. Instead, she's chasing him. Eventually, she hunts him down and cuts his tail off, which you can see on her belt. Then look at her glider, and she turns it into an apple pie for her grandma. So many people own Fable and have no idea how terrifying she is. But there's some other Halloween outfits which are based on urban legends, and no one realizes. Hollowhead might just look like a dude with a pumpkin head, but he is meant to represent the Headless Horseman. Same goes with the Baba Yaga, an old woman on the surface, but she's based on a Slavic folktale of a witch who cooks and eats people, even children. But it makes his skin a little more creepy. And of course, you can't ignore the Good Doctor, who is clearly inspired by Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The edit style is even named Hyde. A terrifying Easter egg that no one was expecting was in the early days of Chapter 1. Harvick wasn't expecting a simple teddy bear in the corner to stalk him.
What? I found an Easter egg.
Wait, what? And that feeling of being washed extends to the Four Nightmares lobby from 2018. If you look closely in the video, you can see a mystery character watching you, which could be a reference that Michael Myers. And I'll say this, make sure to bring four buddies along if you watch a spooky movie. At the start of Midas' Revenge, you can pause for a few seconds and see this warning in the trailer. Zoom in on the small print, and it says the event may not be suitable for horror buddies. So I guess we're not old enough yet to watch horror films. If you prefer to encounter your own horrifying experience, players in Camp Cod had a chance to be jump scared. Back in Chapter 2, you could just be minding your own business until suddenly a ghost flies out of a grave. Now, this was an insanely rare Easter egg, so hardly anyone got to see it. But there is another Easter egg that vanished without anyone realizing. One of the coolest secrets of Fortnite has always revolved around the tac shotgun. Since the very first season, if you look closely enough, you could spot a hidden minigame on the screen. By now, everyone knows about this, but not many realize it's been deleted. With the tac's redesign in Chapter 2, they completely changed the screen, leaving this Easter egg behind. A pretty unfortunate side effect of the new graphics. Yet one of the strangest secrets we have ever had in Fortnite is Indiana Jones's head. Once it came out, people went into replay mode and looked under his hat, only to find a message for Lamb and Finn from their dad. It was meant to be a wholesome tribute, but apparently Epic didn't agree, because they just deleted it from the game. But I just can't explain why Epic removed a reference to one of the biggest franchises. In Chapter 3, the beach was suddenly updated with a sandcastle. Obviously, this looks like any generic castle, until fans noticed that it was strikingly similar to Helm's Deep from Lord of the Rings. At the same time, anyone playing on Switch could see extra details that made this theory way too convincing. And the cherry on top, the Lord of the Rings TV show was days from releasing. People waited and waited, and nothing happened. Then, the sandcastle was mysteriously removed, so thanks for trolling us, Epic. But we can all agree that Fish Stick Song was a bad idea. In Season 2, if you listen to the Fishy Flourish emote, it said... But it wasn't always like this. In fact, if you used this just a week before, the lyrics were completely different. Yeah, I wasn't expecting Fish Stick to be R-rated, and Fortnite was embarrassed. Gotta say, how did they write this, record it, and turn it into an emote before realizing? But Epic banned an outfit with an amazing reference right before anyone could realize. When Imposters Mode released, it kind of broke the internet. Among Us and Fortnite combined, it was a recipe for success, and they knew it. It was a love letter to the OG fans, with Easter eggs all over the map, like Kevin the Cube and the Zapatron. And one of the coolest parts was in the files, a bunch of Jonesies with different suits. Originally, they were going to be mandatory, and obviously a reference to Among Us crewmates with all the different colors. Only one problem, Agent Jones is a Battle Pass skin, so that was never going to happen. You know how the story goes with the removal of imposters? There is no chance of us ever wearing this outfit again. One of the craziest hidden rooms to ever exist wasn't even on the map. In Chapter 2, they had a location that could only be accessed on Spawn Island. You had to enter a building and force your way down the elevator to find secret ghost and shadow facilities. Not only was this hard to find, but you only had a small amount of time to check it out before the bus left. My favorite secret rooms are the ones that reward you for finding them. The Shuffled Shrines absolutely nails this. It started off as a regular puzzle where you'd have to outrun a boulder and discover loot, but no one told us about the extra room that could only be found by emoting. Yeah, once you dance, it will reward you with an exclusive Indiana Jones emote. But if we're talking about one of the first ever hidden rooms in Battle Royale, let's take it back to Pleasant Park. It's a classic POI, and no one expected this boring house to hold such a cool secret. There's a small hole under the stairs, and if you followed it and broke this wall, it would reveal a huge emergency bunker with CCTV cameras, lab equipment, and a ton of loot.
Because he doesn't like you!
Was the Shadow Safe House. It started off that way, but over time, Fortnite kept changing it to become its own radio station with a recording studio downstairs. Eventually, the gnomes took control and began making music, which was pretty strange, but nothing compares to the final update, which confused everyone. Out of nowhere, the POI was changed again, with more stairs that could lead you further down. Break a few walls and you would find a storage room. Kinda cool, I guess, until you walked up to the bookcase and opened it, revealing this. I don't know what kind of files are in the cabinet, but they must have been important. It makes you wonder, what actually is the first secret room in Battle Royale? Well, it all revolves around this tunnel from Chapter 1. I totally forgot about this place, but man, it brings back memories. Anyway, if you dare to stick around in this dark tunnel, you can break one of the...
Collected the Infinity Stones before Thanos.
Fought with him. I died for him. I trusted him. And me, I'm the damn fool that shot him.
You know
know, in Huggy Playtime Chapter 3, Dog Day can be found multiple times throughout the level. Similar to the original Huggy Wuggy chase, the Dog Day pursues the player through the entire level, with the exception of the ending area, where you find 3 Dog Days waiting in the tunnels to come out, depending on which side that we take out to this area. Also, did you ever wonder what happens to the Dog Day after the door slams shut? Unsurprisingly, nothing. He just sits there as the audio plays out for the end of this level. It does, however, leave me a little bit curious. Was Dog Day unalive like his smiling critters, or will he return in Chapter 4? It is also possible that the prototype collected him for failing to catch us, like what happened to Catnap at the end of Chapter 3. And if you want to see more out-of-bound secrets like this, make sure to smash the follow. Also, there's a good chance that I'm streaming live right now on TikTok. Did you know in Huggy Playtime Chapter 3, Dog Day can be found multiple times throughout the level? Similar to the original Huggy Wuggy chase, the Dog Day pursues the player through the entire level, with the exception of the area where you find 3 Dog Days waiting in the tunnels to come out, depending on which side that we take out to this area. Also, did you ever wonder what happens to the Dog Day after the door slams shut? Unsurprisingly, nothing. It just sits there as the audio plays out for this level. It does, however, leave me a little bit curious. Was Dog Day unalive like his smiling critters, or will he return in Chapter 4? It is also possible that the prototype collected him for failing to catch us, like what happened to Catnap at the end of Chapter 3. And if you want to see more out-of-bound secrets like this, make sure to smash the follow. Also, there's a good chance that I'm streaming live right now only on TikTok. Did you know in Huggy Playtime Chapter 3, Dog Day can be found multiple times throughout the level? Similar to the original Huggy Wuggy chase, the Dog Day pursues the player through the entire level, with the exception of the area where you find 3 Dog Days waiting in the tunnels to come out, depending on which side that we take out to this area. Also, did you ever wonder what happens to the Dog Day after the door slams shut? Unsurprisingly, nothing. It sits there as the audio plays out at the end of this level. It does, however, leave me a little bit curious. Was Dog Day unalive like his smiling critters, or will he return in Chapter 4? It is also possible that the prototype collected him for failing to catch us, like what happened to Catnap at the end of Chapter 3. And if you want to see more out-of-bound secrets like this, make sure to smash the follow. Also, there's a good chance that I'm streaming live right now only on TikTok. Did you know in Huggy Playtime Chapter 3, Dog Day can be found multiple times throughout the level? Similar to the original Huggy Wuggy chase, the Dog Day pursues the player through the entire level, with the exception of the ending area where you find 3 Dog Days waiting in the tunnels to come out, depending on which side that we take out to this area. Also, did you ever wonder what happens to the Dog Day after the door slams shut? Unsurprisingly, nothing. He just sits there as the audio plays out for the end of this level. It does, however, leave me a little bit curious. Was Dog Day unalive like his smiling critters, or will he return in Chapter 4? It is also possible.
Here's what happens when you try to bend a normal rock. It breaks. But this is a piece of an extremely rare rock called itacalamite, the world's only bendable rock. It's only found in a few places in the world, and what's really cool about this is you can actually find diamonds in it sometimes. Here's a larger sample from the Leeds Museum. So the rock is made of solid quartz, but what makes it bendable is still a little bit of a mystery. The scientists think it's the way that the quartz is locking together with some air gaps in between them. So even though the quartz can't bend, the way it locks together is kind of like chainmail, but solid but keeps itself bendable. Here's what happens when you try to bend a normal rock. It breaks. But this is a piece of an extremely rare rock called itacalamite, the world's only bendable rock. It's only found in a few places in the world, and what's really cool about this is you can actually find diamonds in it sometimes. Here's a larger sample from the Leeds Museum. So the rock is made of solid quartz, but what makes it bendable is still a little bit of a mystery, but scientists think it's the way that the quartz is locking together with some air gaps in between them. And so even though the quartz can't bend, the way it locks together is kind of like chainmail, but solid but keeps itself bendable. Here's what happens when you try to bend a normal rock. It breaks. But this is a piece of an extremely rare rock called itacalamite, the world's only bendable rock. It's only found in a few places in the world.
What? You think you can buy me with a wink and some cheap booze? Well, you can.
There's a million Bigfoots taking over the world. Choose your weapon to survive. million Bigfoots taking over the world. Choose your weapon to survive.
Why can't we actually just go back to old Gorilla Tag? It seems like nowadays all this game is just toxicity, racism, and just every single type of hate. I don't know what it is about Gorilla Tag content nowadays, but nowadays it's just so boring to watch. Only like a year and a half ago, you saw TikTokers who were actually passionate and loved the game, and now you just see people who just want to start drama, random crap that didn't even happen, and just want views. I think we should stop the toxicity and honestly just let a monkey game be a monkey game, because let me make this game for people to have fun and be inclusive, not for people to see the game and just automatically think of the immaturity and toxicity that the game has to bring. I don't want to be that guy to ask for likes, but if you do actually agree with this statement, please like the video to spread it to a larger audience. Why can't we actually just go back to old Gorilla Tag? It seems like nowadays all this game is just toxicity, racism, and just everything of that state. I don't know what it is about Gorilla Tag content.
Can anyone hear me? I hear her again. It's not real. It's not real. Mom could be a laptop again. She got a text from someone called Unknown. Hey boss, we're gonna need you to make the beauty standards a lot harder. Not enough people have been eliminated. Wait, he wouldn't be calling her boss unless she's in charge of the whole system. So if my mom is in charge of the beauty standards, then someone help us, please. That voice is real. Okay, it's gonna be okay. I just have to follow where the voice is coming from and save my phone. The beauty standard is about to change. I better hurry. Tara? You found me. Oh my gosh, you're okay. Your mom, she's in charge of the system. I know. Honey, it's dinner time. I have to go. No, don't leave me in the cell. I'll be back, alright? I'm gonna save you. Can anyone hear me? I hear her again. Hello?
Where they at? Right about now. I love the way you do. All the fine ladies take the floor. Where they at?
Hello? Tara? You found me. Oh my gosh, you're okay. Your mom, she's in charge of the system. I know. Honey, it's dinner time. I have to go. No, don't leave me in this.
In most countries, TPing public property is against the law, but VRChat is a lawless place where you can unload your massive TP launcher all over a city block and face no consequences. This is Toilet Paper Chaos, and as far as I know, it's the only VRChat world with toilet paper guns. Beyond the simple red bazooka, you can find a few gimmick weapons hidden across the map, like the purple one that fires an extra long roll, or the green one that launches 6-pack cluster bombs, or the rainbow launcher that fires an extremely bouncy toilet roll. Now, as much as I love these huge TP launches, the rate of fire leaves a bit to be desired, which is why I prefer to use 2 huge TP launchers. This way I can be a public menace at 2 times the speed. I enjoy this very much.
We all have those girls at school that just think they're better than everyone else. It's always, name a better duo than us. But they forget that gaming duos exist, and they always have better chemistry. Here's why I think Boneworks is probably the most insane game ever. First of all, let's just throw this guy right down there, like he deserves. Second of all, the guns are just amazing, and the NPCs. Even this guy agrees. Look at him. And my favorite...
Moi je m'en bats les reins, j'ai besoin d'un vrai job. Il a vu mes copines, je crois qu'il a flashé. J'suis pas tout l'embête à m'appeler le fessé. Réponds à tes appels, tu crois que je vais la fesser. Moi je m'en bats les reins, j'ai besoin d'un vrai job. Trop tard, j'suis trop loin.
I wasn't using the right settings to drive with the Vision Pro, so today I'm going to try it out with travel mode enabled. I would hope that Apple makes it impossible to drive with the Vision Pro and they can detect that, so I wanted to make sure that they can actually detect that you're driving. That way you can't actually abuse it like this, because having all of these windows open was just so distracting. As soon as I went to drive, I noticed the windows started to kind of shift, and then all of a sudden they disappeared, and I got a message saying the tracking failed. Of course, the Vision Pro will work on an airplane, but a moving car just doesn't work, which is really nice because I do not want to see people walking onto their Teslas like this. I wasn't using the right...
King Thanos wipes out all life in the universe in an attempt to impress Mistress Death, but after realizing that he had to die to be with her, he instructs the Ghost Rider to drag his younger self into the future using the Time Stone. Thanos attacks his older self, believing him to be an imposter, but stops after King Thanos proves his identity. The Fallen One then arrives, but the two work together and manage to defeat him. Death suddenly appears, and Thanos realizes that he must fight his older self and end his life. The two engage in battle until King Thanos starts begging for death, which disgusts younger Thanos. He takes the Time Stone and travels back into the past, determined to never become like his future self, causing King Thanos and his timeline to be erased from existence. King Thanos wiped...
I activated the most annoying setting on my phone. Though technically it's only annoying because of you, or some of you at least. When you're blind like me, you have to activate text-to-speech on your phone so it says everything you touch out loud. But the way I have my phone set, it reads all of my messages to me out loud as soon as they come in.
Message from Banana. Are you making another stupid video again?
So when you guys drop comments in my videos, my phone will start reading them to me out loud immediately, which can be nice.
Hey.
Flip this drink without spilling a drip and win a drink. What? Oi! Has anyone ever done this before? Never. Do you have a packet of crisps? Yeah. Give me a packet of crisps. There we go, there. Right, watch this, right? So then we take this. There we go. 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 Look at that. Nothing yet. About spilling a drip. We've got this one. Listen, if I do this, I want a free drink. Where is he? Doing some work. Listen, I want a free drink if I do this. Look at that. Got a drop, yeah? Watch. Ready for this? One. Yeah, I'll get this without me. Good. One. Hey, there we go. That's how you win yourself a free drink. Flip this drink without spilling a drip and...
Wait, did Legendary copy my Godzilla design? For those who are lost, ever since the GXK trailer came out, I've seen people compare it to my...
Asking people who their favorite Gorilla Tag content creator is until they say Fadu VR part, I think 8?
Bro, I've lost track. Want to subscribe?
Alright, well now let's get into this.
My city has something called a blessing box. It's a place that people can either drop off or pick up food and toiletries. And this week I found myself wondering if freeze-dried food is something that people would actually want to see in the blessing box, so I decided to give it a try. But I wanted to make sure that I started off small to gauge interest to see if it's something people even wanted. And I also wanted to keep it as simple as possible, so I started out with freeze-dried apples. This is something that you don't have to dehydrate to eat, and they taste great. So we put the apples in a run with a whole bunch of other fruit and got a freeze dryer. Apples are one of those things that pretty much come out of the freeze dryer looking the exact same way as they went in, so I figured it was something that wouldn't freak anyone out. Once they came out of the freeze dryer, we got a Mylar bag, wrote down what's going to be inside of it, we put the apples in the bag, and then added an oxygen absorber. Once the apples were all packaged up and ready to go, I brought them to the blessing box to put them in. I told myself if the apples were gone within 24 hours, I would put 2 bags in next time, and they were actually gone within 2 hours. So now I need to figure out what exactly I'm going to put in there next, so let me know in the comments what you think would be good to go in this blessing box. And then subscribe for more.
This right here is
This is a queen wasp attacking a Venus flytrap, but will she find her nest? Every time she gets caught, she stings the plant and uses her strength to pull herself out. Yet, she was outside for so long that this flytrap nectar has made her drunk, so she can't move very well. But this doesn't stop her from wriggling out of every single trap. And that's when we started wondering why this wasp was so big and only walks towards the dead flies. Only then did we realize that this is a queen wasp that got lost, and she's checking if these flies are her children from her colony. We tried to save her and give her some sugar water, but she thought we were attacking her. However, she's too drunk to fly properly and flew into the tortoise. Yet, she gave us a second chance when she smelled the sugar in the box, and now she's recovering before we help her find her nest. This is a queen.
This right here is a Flipper Zero with some custom modifications. It does a lot. So this is just a proof of concept device, but when you start to add your own little additions onto it like this, let me enable, for example, Wi-Fi. I'm not going to hack your Wi-Fi, but I'll give you a little example of what I can do. I'll just do something stupid. I'm not going to shut your network down. Okay, so now if I can show you on my phone, or you can look at your phone, but you'll see that instead of me mirroring your network, I just created a bunch of fake networks. So all of these networks here, they probably appear to be legitimate, right?
Yeah.
But they're not.
These are all fake networks.
They're all powered by me. So as soon as you connect to any of those, I have your password, I have anything in between. So that's one thing. That's just Wi-Fi.
And you just, oh man.
It's called a net. This right here is a Flipper Zero with some custom modifications. It does a lot. So this is just a proof of concept device, but when you start to add your own little additions onto it like this, let me enable, for example, Wi-Fi. I'm not going to hack your Wi-Fi, but I'll give you a little example of what I can do. I'll just do something stupid. I'm not going to shut your network down. Okay, so now if I can show you on my phone, or you can look at your phone, but you'll see that instead of me mirroring your network, I just created a bunch of fake networks. So all of these networks here, they probably appear to be legitimate, right?
Yeah.
But they're not.
These are all fake networks.
They're all powered by me. So as soon as you connect to any of those, I have your password, I have anything in between. So that's one thing. That's just Wi-Fi.
And you just, oh.
This Lego animal has finally been found. Previously, this animal has been super rare amongst Lego sets, only previously appearing in just one Lego set, the Mill Village Raid set in 2011. This is everyone's favorite, the goat. It's been known across the Lego community that goats never appear in sets. They became so rare that they started selling for over $200 each on eBay. But when Lego released the Lego Ninjago City Market set in 2023, they included a missing poster of a goat, which led to speculation amongst the Lego community that the goat might make a return. And well, sure enough, in the collectible minifigures Series 25, they've brought back the goat as a companion to a farmer. So, this Lego animal has finally been found. Previously, this animal has been super rare amongst Lego sets, only previously appearing in just one Lego set, the Mill Village Raid set in 2011. This is everyone's favorite, the goat. It's been known across the Lego community that goats never appear in sets. They became so rare that they started selling for over $200 each on eBay. But when Lego released the Lego Ninjago City Market set in 2023, they included a missing poster of a goat, which led to speculation amongst the Lego community that the goat...
To remember the people we used to be. It's even harder to remember destiny. You say it's too late to make it, but is it too late to try? And all the time not to waste it. All of my pages burned down. I've wasted my nights. You turned out the lights. Now I'm never light. Still stuck in that time when we called it love, but even the sun sets in paradise. I'm at a place trying to go home. Training down, staying on you. Where the time to remember the people we used to be. It's even harder to remember. Destiny.